Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns to liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? Happy Monday to you. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. We're getting it in. We got Monday Night Football going on two fronts. We got Miami and the Titans going on, and then I'm watching Seattle and Detroit battle. So DK Metcalf just fumbled. Detroit, I believe, got a field goal out of it, and then they got the ball back, and they just scored. DK Metcalf made a crazy play to get to the end zone, stepped out of bounds just at the end zone, and they ended up pushing it in from the less than 1 yard line. So, yeah, they're getting into it. I'm hoping that all of my Eagles fans, hope everybody's doing okay. Took some time to process the loss and everything that happened, but it bees like that sometimes. We've been up and down for a while. That is the reality of us as it exists at this present moment. Nobody is completely sold on Nick Sirianni, and the situation is getting worse. All of the equity that he may have built up in the past is pretty much he's demolishing that, in my opinion. He's demolishing that. What's going on, Chris? I almost died in the heat. Part of you died because of that ass whooping. I understand it, bro. I understand it, man. But you got to process that loss. That's the way things go, man. But we're not going to be before you too long, man. But, just the aftermath of this loss, man. And I said it after the game, immediately after the game. Chris, I don't know if you listen to like WIP and the radio stations up here. And I already knew they was coming for that ass today. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. They was coming for that ass on WIP and 97.5. They wasn't messing around today. And all of the content creators, it was just a lot of heated conversations. And then on top of that, you saw what happened. Slay was on Micah Parsons' podcast, and a lot of people didn't like that. And I'm just like, man, just pump your brakes a little bit. It's okay. You can't tell somebody what they got to do on their day off. I know it's not a good look. But you got to pump your brakes a little bit. I'm not going to bitch, moan, and complain about what a player is doing on their time off. Can't do that. I don't like it either, but you can't do that. He ain't in the streets. He ain't doing nothing stupid. He ain't getting in trouble. He ain't speeding. None of that. He jumped on somebody's podcast, and because that somebody plays for the Cowboys, Philly's got a problem with it. And more so because we just got our ass whooped the other night. That's what it comes down to, and I understand that. That's a valid point. He don't see it that way. And let me be honest with you. If I was playing, I wouldn't see it that way. Because, again, you're not going to tell me what I can and can't do on my time off. I don't care how it looks. As long as I'm not doing anything illegal, getting anybody in trouble, doing stuff that's detrimental to this team or anything like that. And it's not. It's harmless. I heard the clip that everybody was talking about he was clowning on CJ Gardner-Johnson. I did not take that from that conversation whatsoever. I didn't take anything like that. If anything, Micah did everything but damn apologize. Because he said he wasn't trying to go at him, make it personal and all that kind of stuff. And Slay just was like, hey, Aid is that type of dude. I'm surmising what Slay said, but basically that's what he said. He said he's that type of dude, got that type of personality. He's the guy that's going to talk all of that smack because most of the other guys don't. He's the guy he's the voice. So I heard it. I heard the clip. We'll listen to it a little bit later, but I didn't take much from it. I didn't take much from it at all. It was all good in the hood, man. It was a little, minute and a half clip, and there's a lot more to it. I was trying to find the actual podcast so I could watch the rest of it. I don't know how long he was on there, but I can't seem to find it. I went to the Bleacher Report site and typed in Edge with Micah Parsons. I couldn't find it. So maybe it's not uploaded yet, or maybe they waiting a little bit after it was live. I'm not sure what the process is with that and what the timing is, but I'll see it. But at the end of the day, we got bigger fish to fry. I can't worry about what Slay is doing now. If you want to bitch and moan about the tackling and Slay and others coming up making business decisions, that's the conversation we can have. But that has no bearing on what podcast he was on. So I don't really care about that. But what's up, Chris? I appreciate the $1.99, brother. Appreciate that, man. What's up, Cody K? So, a lot of people going to get bent out of shape. And we as a fan base are bent out of shape a little bit because of how the game went down. Because of that. I mean, we got our ass whooped. They took us out to the woodshed, any other cliche you want to throw in there. Took us out back, made us go get a switch, beat us like the grandmama, any of that. They just straight put it on us. And we had no answer. We tried to wake up in the third, but by then it was kind of too little, too late. We had a couple of opportunities in the first half. We just couldn't take advantage of it. I know Jalen missed the second play of the game, I believe. Jalen missed Saquon Barkley deep. That probably could have been 6. Then Dallas Goedert could have moved the chains. He drops the ball. We just weren't in sync in the first half. I've never seen the Eagles play a half that bad before. Never. I've never seen us come out of a half with like 3 yards net. Never seen that. 250 something to 3? That was crazy. I'd never seen a performance like that before. And I don't understand. And this is where we get into this conversation where people are looking at Nick Sirianni. What do you I know people are talking about, fire Nick Sirianni and stuff like that. You can't fire a coach in the middle of the season. Don't do it. It's bad for business. I don't care how much you like or dislike. Unless there's fights going on in the film room, you got to stick with what you got and ride it out to the end. That's what I say. Because I would rather stick with what we know all the way to the end, and then as soon as the end is up, get them out of there. If that's what it comes down to. But all of these people talking about fire Sirianni, if they was going to fire him, they would have done it at the end of the last season. But they didn't. So we got what we got, and we're going to deal with what we got. Because if it gets to the point where we're trying to fire our head coach in the middle of the season, we got a lot more problems than people really want to admit. I don't personally think it's like that because every team is going to go through their ups and downs. Every team's going to do that. But the Eagles have to play better, period. Have to play better. From the tackling to the offensive schemes. We still happy about Kellen Moore, but damn it, run the ball early, man. How many times we got to say that? Everybody and their mama know Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the league right now. Give him the ball. It can't be 2 carries in the first half. Like we used to do last year with Swift. We can't go through that same stuff again. Run him. Don't run him up the middle. Start off with him with the zone reads. It is crystal clear that is the best way to start, especially if you're watching film or if you just saw the way the game was going in the first period. Vita Vea was giving Cam Jurgens fits. So you know what? Run off tackle. Don't stop trying to run up the gut. You gotta massage that out of him, man. You gotta pick your spots. Vita Vea ain't moving. So you got to go in another direction. When they start catching up in that other direction, that's when you hit them with the play action. What's frustrating about what I see is I get pissed off when I watched the game last night, Baltimore, and I see them moving the ball, and I know Jalen Hurts is not Lamar Jackson, but it's the same type of logic. Lamar Jackson is smart enough and fast enough to know, all right, I'm going to get myself out of trouble. Go. Make the decision and go. And admittedly, I was one that was saying he got to stay in the pocket just a little bit longer. And he did that. And you see where we got him. So you know what? I'm saying, Jalen, you go with what you know. Go with what you see. If you see it's collapsing, get the hell up out of there. Because I would rather have you run, just take off, tuck the ball, and go, than keep putting it on the ground. Because 2 years ago, when you were tucking it and running, you didn't put the ball on the ground. Now, I know your turnovers and stuff like that is going to go up when you throw the ball more, but we can't have these fumbles and these turnovers. We can't. So, what's up, Kev? So, yeah, I saw that. A lot of people. I didn't think Nakobe Dean had the best game, but he wasn't the worst offender out there. He missed some tackles along with everybody else. But in my opinion, tackling is a. Do I need to go on this rant, beat this dead horse again about what I think that they should be doing in camp? New-a-days versus two-a-days. This is when that stuff. This is exactly why I say you cannot gauge what type of team you have until week 4. You just can't do it. So now we are 2-2. We know exactly what type of team we have right now. We got a team that's struggling with our best offensive weapons out of the game. We got a quarterback that's struggling because he's turning the ball over at an alarming rate. And we got an up and down defense. We had a defense the first 2 weeks that got gashed by the run, but tightened up in the red zone. Then in week 3, they come out of nowhere and just demolish the Saints. And then we get to Tampa Bay, and it's like we forget how to tackle. And I don't understand the up and down of that. I don't understand the psychology of that, because tackling is a want. At this professional level, you should know how to tackle, but it has to be practiced, just like everything else. It has to be practiced. It has to be a tone that's set. You have to set a tone as a coach if you want your team to be a physical team. You got to have somebody that's going to knock some heads. I look at everything that Fred Warner's doing out there in San Francisco, and that man is on a terror. That's the type of dude you want in your defense, calling the shots. He's the guy you want to have that green dot. We trying to get there, and we our defense is up and downs. You know what I mean? It's against the Saints, it's like that's what a Philly defense looks like. That's what I'm talking about right there. And then we play Tampa Bay, and it's like, what the hell did I just see? 8 missed tackles in a quarter? You got to be kidding me. You professionals, that's the least you can do. That's a prerequisite. You got to be able to tackle when you get to this level, especially if you play defense. That's what you're supposed to do. So I don't know what causes the relapse in that. I don't know. It's hard to explain because I am not from that era. I heard Seth talking about it today on WIP when he was talking about Slay. He said it because I remember when he kind of went back with Slay, and I think I jumped in on that conversation on Twitter, and I was like, nah, dog. I was like, you must not know who you talking to. You talking about one of the best in this city. One of my big bros, my captain when I played. So like that's the wrong one to be complaining, talking about he must not know how to tackle. I remember that conversation, and I was like, oh, time out, Slay. Time out. You got to know your personnel on this one. And you talking about one of the greats in the city, somebody that probably should be in the Hall of Fame in the 2020 club as a linebacker. You better talk that talk and understand who you talking to. And film don't lie. Period. Film don't lie. The big guy in the sky don't lie. What's up, King DV? So all of that nonsense that they bring, and that kind of feeds into, why everybody's, all up in arms because he was on the podcast and stuff like that. But when you hear stuff like that, and from my estimation, it's who he said it to, not necessarily what he said. Out of all the people you want to talk shit to, you ain't gonna talk shit to Seth. Somebody that established the groundwork of what a Philly defense is, not that dude. Nah. And now we right back here having this same conversation. Nah. Come on, man. Tape don't lie. We watch tape just like everybody else. And you should know, Slay, us former players, we still watch tape. We still watch tape to study. We still watch tape looking for tells and looking for patterns and just to see what somebody is doing on the field. Because if they're not being recognized, we'll pump them up. If they putting some garbage on the field, we'll let them know. But at least we keep it 100. Because when you watching the tape, you ain't spitting opinions. The tape don't lie. We are not spitting opinions when we watching tape. You don't hear, well, I know he scrubbed his social media, but you don't hear Bryce Huff complaining. The only quote I heard from Bryce Huff was like he pretty much owned it and was like, I got to play better. It is what it is. We watching the tape. Tape don't lie. So the next game, when you got Sirianni has 2 weeks after the bye. He's got until game 7 for the Eagles. Or I'm sorry, game 6. So we 2-2. We got the bye week, then we got game 5. And then so we got 2 weeks. Who's our schedule looking like? Give me 1 second. Who we got coming up? We have just got blasted by the Buccaneers. Okay, so we got the Browns on the 13th. The Browns come to town. And then we got to go to New York. You know New York is going to be a game because Saquon is going to be everywhere. And their whole function is going to be to stop Saquon. I'll tell you what. If they go up to New York and get embarrassed, if they go up to the New York Giants and get embarrassed, and I said this earlier today, I'm not talking shit about the Eagles. We are not good enough where you can talk shit about the Cowboys, about the Giants, about the Commanders, about nobody. Because we trot out there and we looking like we homecoming. Y'all gonna schedule us because you know you can beat us. That's the way we look out there against Tampa Bay. We are the city that introduced the world to pickle juice. The pickle juice game, Andy Reid was famous for that. Happened right here in Philadelphia. How the hell you go down somewhere like Tampa Bay and it's 107 degrees and you ain't checked the weather reports? You're not prepared. I don't get that. Everybody knows. I remember this from when I played back in the 90s. You know it's going to get hot. You start hydrating yourself a day and a half before, 2 days before. Start hitting the Gatorade with regularity. Start gallon of water, regularity. Get used to it. Get yourself hydrated first. And then the night before the game, you load up on the pickle juice or the electrolytes or whatever it is. So by the time you get there, your body is ready. And you ain't sweating everything out. And heck, I remember the pickle juice game because I remember Andy Reid talking about it. Everybody laughed at it. At that time, that's what you would call something going viral. Social media wasn't a thing yet, but it was on every news channel. Pickle juice game. Everybody was laughing until everybody on the other team started cramping up. And we were ready. He had water bottles filled with pickle juice on the bench. They were ready. Everybody didn't drink it because some people don't like it, but everybody that did didn't have any problems. I remember that very vividly. They laughed at him, and after that fact, and towards the end of the year, everybody had pickle juice on their sideline. So, and I'm saying all that to say, how can you go down there and not be prepared for the heat? How can you do that? They don't make them like us no more, man. Cue the Kendrick Lamar music. They don't make them like us no more. They just don't. They don't. Playing in the 90s, going up to Westchester, banging for 3 hours in the morning and another 2 hours at night. Twice a day, 5 days a week, you play on Saturday till the season started. That was our life. We got it in. We got it in. We knew how to tackle. We knew how to throw blocks. We knew what to expect. You got to get calloused to do that. And what I saw in Tampa Bay, man, that just didn't cut it. Woof, that didn't cut it. It's probably bad tackling, bad tacklers, seems. Little bit of both. Little bit of both. Bad tackling is when you see linebackers missing tackles. Because up until this game, Kobe Dean was playing pretty well. Zach Bond, I got to watch the tape. I don't know how many tackles Zach Bond missed. I don't know. But everybody was missing tackles. So bad tackling, that's on the linebackers and the defensive line. Bad tacklers, that's our secondary. Avonte Maddox coming up and lowering his head. And the number one rule for football, I used to tell my kids this when I coached for the GT Stallions in South Jersey. 10 years old, see what you hit. And that's not anything new. Avonte Maddox been doing that. I can go back 3 years ago with Marcus Epps. Marcus Epps, I'll never forget this. He came, and Marcus Epps is a good safety, hard-hitting safety. But we were playing San Francisco. He came up to Christian McCaffrey, lowered his head. And as soon as he hit, he went straight to the ground. And McCaffrey bounced off of him and scored. You got to see what you hit. You got to hit through your opponent or the ball carrier. You got to do that. We were taught that in Little League. And there's no excuse for not doing that. That is a prerequisite at this level. So if they taking the heat, they're going to take the heat, man. That's what they get. You got to be better than that. Because it's costing us games. And it just makes us look inadequate. And we cannot go through that again. Because as bad as the defense was last year, it would have looked so much better if we could have just tackled like a normal team. I'm not talking about be the best at tackling. Just tackle like you know how to do at the professional level. We couldn't even do that. And it made us look that much worse. And I'm hoping that crap doesn't happen again. Maybe that was just an outlier for this year, because for the most part, they've been doing okay. Okay. Not great, but okay. But that was the worst display I had seen this year. Bijan gashed us a little bit, but for all intent and purposes, we should have won that game. So I'm hoping this is an outlier. This is a situation where I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to be watching a lot of film because they got to get ready for Cleveland. We cannot lose to Cleveland, and we cannot lose to the damn Giants. We can't, because we got Cleveland, then we got the Giants, then we got the Bengals, then we got the Jags. And the way we played the other night, nothing is a guarantee. Cleveland is not a better team than us, but we got to show it on the field. The Giants certainly are not a better team than us, but we got to show it on the field. The Bengals, they were 0-3, and then they put together something last night, and they said, okay, they still got some bite left. So that's something that we're going to have to worry about. And the Jaguars got an offer right now. If we lose to the Jaguars, we're going to be an embarrassment. But that, to me, that's one of them games that we'll let slip away because Doug Peterson is coming to town. That's another one, just like the Giants game, that we can't lose that game. Trevor Lawrence is looking like hot garbage right now. And it'll be just our luck. Another game where we are unprepared and we'll get embarrassed at home. So you got 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You got the bye week, you got the Browns, and you got the Giants. At home versus the Browns, at New York. Sirianni better have an answer in weeks 5 and 6 for us, games 5 and 6 for us. Because if he doesn't, I don't know what's going to happen. And I know a lot of times it's not that you lose, but it is how you lose. And we can't lose like that again. That's unacceptable. Because if that does happen again, the noise to get him out of town, to get Sirianni promoted to fan, is going to be deafening. So you better open up that playbook. You better have them conversations with Kellen Moore. You better CEO as a CEO coach, whatever it is, whatever you got to do. You better open up Pandora's box, pull a rabbit out of the hat. I don't care. But if you mess around and lose to the Giants, it's going to be a rough day. It's going to be a rough day. But let me backtrack a little bit, and I want to get into Slay a little bit. And I know a lot of people are upset because he went on Micah's podcast and all of that kind of stuff, man. But it's all good. But let's see what he said and hear it for yourself. So let's see what we're talking about here. It's only 1:30.
Man, your dog CJ, man, he has some stuff there for it. He struck again, bro.
I'm gonna get you to get to that in a second, Kev.
Like y'all know, bro, I'm all positive, bro. I'm not trying to attack CJ at all. I know he took what I said personally.
Yes, he did.
And,
Definitely took it personal.
In terms of how we feel, bro, like we all in the NFL. How one of us saying that another person don't belong here, or they just that type of person. You feel me though? Like even with a pro, like we still could be humbled at any moment. Like we still gonna get beat. I'ma still get locked up maybe for a game or it's just a game of football. It's just how it happens. So like, wait a minute. What's your thought on that?
Hey, one thing. Hey, will bring the energy, and it will bring all the trash talking that he's not. He fulfilled that need for us. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of energy. He gonna talk that trash.
He gonna talk that talk.
Hey, he gonna talk that.
Yeah, Kev. LB was heated today. I was on the stream.
He don't.
Yeah, that's enough, man. So, I mean, that particular segment was what everybody was up in arms about. I didn't find too much fault in it, other than everybody's just bent out of shape because he was on Micah Parsons' podcast, and because obvious reasons, everybody want to hate on Micah Parsons right now. But again, I'll say this again: I don't care who you are. I don't care how big of an Eagles fan you find yourself to be. Whatever the situation is, you are not. Let me repeat. You are not going to tell players what they can and can't do on their day off. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. The WNBA is dealing with this shit right now. Claiming, Indiana fans, Caitlin Clark fans, and all of the isms and stuff that they throwing online. And I'm like, what are y'all going to do against people online? What are you going to do because somebody posted something and is trolling you on Twitter or TikTok or whatever. There's literally nothing you can do. Same way in this situation. If you're gonna be mad, you be mad by yourself. That's just extra fuel to the fire. Something else you can throw in there. Because what's the first thing somebody gonna say if he has another bad game? See, you shouldn't have been messing around on the podcast and should have been worried about playing. Man, this man done watched about 5 hours worth of film today. When did he film this? Last night? This evening? Whenever it was. He was away from the stadium on his own time. You cannot tell these players what they can do away from the stadium. If he ain't doing nothing wrong, he ain't doing wrong. You might not like it, so be it. So I know my boy Tone was upset. I know Lord Brunson was upset. I know Simone was going off. Simone had no breaks today, but at the end of the day, he a grown man on his free time. So he gonna do what he gonna do. And let me be honest with you. I don't give a damn about it. Don't care. What I care about is what he does in between them lines. Period. Now, if you got something to say about that, if you want to go at him about that, fair game. But I'm not going to tell somebody else what they got to do with their time. Not my business. But I will say this, though. This is the landscape that we live in right now. Slay got a podcast. Micah got a podcast. Y'all watching my podcast live on YouTube right now. This is the digital landscape we in. I don't have a problem with him doing what he think he got to do. But the optics of it, not a good look, especially after a loss. Because after a loss, whatever you are doing that is not in line with trying to get your team to a better place, fans ain't going to like it. You already know. You already know. Slay was even explaining to what he was telling Micah about talking to CJ about what the fans are going to do. Like, they're going to love you, but if you mess it up, they're going to let you know. Like, telling CJ Gardner-Johnson how real the people are in Philly. I would imagine he was talking about from the first time he was here, but you understand what I'm saying. He was letting them know. So he knows. But at the end of the day, all of this stuff is going to be water under the bridge. If the defense comes out and they ball next game, all things are absolved. Nobody cares. If he gets a pick next game, ain't nobody worrying about Micah Parsons' podcast. Nobody is. So it all comes down, and it always comes down to what you do on the field. Period. That would solve so many problems. I know it's not going to happen, but if Slay come up and knock somebody's helmet off, all of this would be forgiven. So we just need a solid day from our defense, play like they did against New Orleans. But again, the big guy in the sky don't lie. So what do you think all of these teams are going to do against the Eagles going forward? They're going to look at that game against Tampa Bay, and they're going to get rid of that ball in 1.5 seconds every chance they get. Quick slant, quick out, option, comeback. Quick slant, quick out, option, comeback. Check down, screen. Quick passes, get rid of the ball. Get you 4 or 5 yards, second down and 5. Third down and 3. Third down and 1. Get rid of the ball quick, pound it, keep moving the chains. That's what Tampa Bay did. They wasn't throwing the ball deep downfield. They didn't take a lot of shots downfield. Everything was dink and dunk, 5 to 10 yards, make somebody miss and make something happen. And everybody, the film is out on us now. Because teams are getting yak yards again, just like they did last year. The yak yards against the Eagles was probably through the damn roof. Everybody that watched film, the Browns are going to come out and do the same damn thing. The Giants are going to come out and do the same damn thing. And you know the Giants are going to come out with the express purpose of stopping Saquon Barkley. They are not going to let Saquon be the man in New York that game. You already know. So Kellen Moore, you already know you got to get in your bag early. They need to start planning for that now. Figure out what they're going to do because you know they coming. So we got some work to do. We got a lot of work to do. And that you don't want to have that taste in your mouth for too much longer. But you got to deal with it. It's going to be a topic of conversation all week. The voices are going to get louder for getting Sirianni out of here. But, you know, you just don't fire a coach in the middle of the season. Who you going to bring in? Who's going to be the intern? Didn't they try that last year? Didn't they get rid of Sean Desai? And not for nothing, we were so pissed off about the offense looking at Brian Johnson. Look what Brian Johnson is doing over there in Baltimore right now. So we need, is Nick Sirianni getting too involved again? Do we have to go through another game where at the end of the first half, Saquon Barkley only has 2 touches? We have to do that again? Technically, it should have been 3 because we missed the pass, so that would have been 3 touches or at least 3 targets. 1 pass, 2 runs, 2 rushes. So you can't give up on it. I haven't seen too much of the play action under center. That's exactly what we need under center. And I hate that everybody else is doing it successfully. The great thing about the zone reads is you stretch the defense out, whether they know it's coming or not. Everybody else is doing this stuff. I saw Baltimore do it. I just saw Detroit do it with Jahmyr Gibbs, and it is not complicated. And we keep coming back to that. Why is our situation on offense, why does it always seem like it's so complicated? Why are we always running routes where it takes Jalen to hold the ball for 3 to 5 seconds? And freaking Baker Mayfield can come in and get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. That's a us problem. That's coaching. That's figure it out. AJ Brown ain't the only one who can run a slant. So we got to figure that out. It's not that complicated. Do what we do best. Run the ball, play action, throw it. Run the ball, play action, pass, throw it again. If you get 5+ yards on first down, run it again. I'm going to say that again. If you get 5+ yards on first down, run it again. Run it on the other side. Put some people in motion. Spread that defense out. I'm glad we're using a lot more motion, but there's some other things that we could be doing. And I know coaches, a lot of times, they don't open up the playbook until they get to the halfway point in the season because you don't want to throw everything at everybody at the same time because everybody's going to watch it on film. But listen, you got to open it up, man. You got to open it up. Jalen Hurts ain't going nowhere, so he's just going to have to figure out how to get over these turnovers. I after watching tape, I'm not so upset about him fumbling. I don't like him fumbling, but I like the fact that he tried to step in the pocket and deliver the ball. But that, after watching the tape, I don't know if you saw my video on that, on my running back segment, that was on Saquon Barkley. Barkley had the blitzing linebacker because somebody tried to, somebody was asking, was that on Dickerson? Dickerson was the left guard, but Dickerson had a man on his outside shoulder. Then Mailata had the edge out there. So on the snap of the ball, Dickerson steps out to his man. Mailata steps out to the end man on the line of scrimmage, but he drops. So when Dickerson sees that, he looks back inside. By that time, linebacker was past him, and Saquon picked him up. Saquon just got blown up, got blown backwards. And the guy ended up going around him and looped around and got, when Jalen Hurts stepped up to deliver the ball, the guy had already got around Saquon and got a hand on the ball. If Saquon at least holds the block and takes him one way or the other, but stays on him, that may have been a touchdown. Because I saw who was open. He was trying to hit Calcaterra in the end zone, who was open. So you could have a 10 out of 11 people do exactly what they're supposed to do. If you have one breakdown somewhere on that offensive line, it'll all go to shit. But not for nothing, that was the right blitz called at the right time. The linebacker made a hell of a play. He blew up blitz pickup, got past him, circled back around, and got a strip. Big time players make big time plays in big time games. And that's exactly what he did. So that's one of those things where you got to remind people, like, hey, sometimes the guys on the other side of the ball, they get paid too. He just made a big time play. Everyone thinks Belichick will fill in like he doesn't have other jobs. I don't worry about that. If it comes to that and he does get the job, all of that stuff goes to the wayside anyway. So I don't care about that. I feel the staff gets cute with stuff, try to do. Now, a lot of people like to say that. I've been guilty of saying that too, but that's not the case. That's not the case because these guys go over game plans meticulously. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a play sheet. I need to try to get a copy of one. If you've ever seen a play sheet and the amount of information on a play sheet it's nauseating. It can confuse you. It can give you an epileptic seizure. So much information on that page. Down and distance. A lot of people like to use color coded. So if it's green, it's 1st and 10. If it's yellow, it's 2nd and 5+. If it's red, it's 3rd and 10. So you got all of these colors for different situations that you may face. The print is small, and the quarterback got to remember all of that stuff. So there's a reason why QBs are supposed to be the smartest guys on the field, because that's a lot of information to process. And let's not forget, and people, they throw this out there with Jalen Hurts. And I still say we talked about it before, but I don't think people really understand or appreciate how difficult it is for a quarterback to learn a new offensive system. And when you look at, the obvious example is Mahomes, and I'm sure there's other ones. You can look at Lamar in Baltimore, but when you have a stable set of coaches, that means something. That means you learning the same information over and over and over again until it's second nature for you. You're not learning everything you can, staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching film, and then at the end of the year, it all gets scrapped and you got to start again. That's the situation Jalen Hurts is in. And we might find ourselves in that again because if Sirianni don't turn it around, he's going to be out of here, which means Kellen Moore might be out of here, which means whoever they hire next might bring in a totally new offense. So now Jalen Hurts is starting back at square one. He got to learn the offense again. His best year is when he had Shane Steichen's offense for the second consecutive year. And I remember saying that. I'm expecting Jalen to be better because now he has the answers to the test. He's not thinking as much. And the proof was in the pudding. Go watch the film. The Super Bowl year, Jalen was cruising. He saw everything. He was in the zone. I remember a couple of games that they stopped the run and he beat him over top with his arm. So everything was clicking for Jalen Hurts and the offense that year. But he knew what he was expected to do. He knew what they wanted him to do, and it worked. And again, that was the second year in Steichen's offense. So he knew it. Just imagine if Shane Steichen was still there. And you running everything exactly the same. Because I don't care what Sirianni says. It wasn't exactly the same with Steichen. Because if it was exactly the same, we would have had similar results. And we didn't. It was different stuff. And then on top of that, Jalen was nicked up. And you had other people nicked up. And it just didn't manifest the way it did the previous year. We limped our ways to the playoffs, but we still made it to the playoffs. Just imagine if we would have had just a little more consistency with that offense. But it didn't make sense. We go all year and we don't put nobody in motion. We go all year with no type of hot reads and blick pickups, and everybody's running these long routes, these heavy routes where you got to get to the second level, and you don't have enough time because the offensive line can't block that long. You got to get rid of the ball. Again, I use Tampa Bay as an example. And I timed it for myself. Had my, you time it on the iPhone, it's got to be legit. Baker Mayfield was getting rid of that ball in about 2 seconds. The longest I saw him hold the ball was like 2.7 seconds on a play. He was getting rid of the ball quick. If the defense is going to play off of you, hit them with it. If Fangio is going to give that type of cushion, quick outs, options, slants. You getting 5 to 10 yards every crack. They're not tackling to you. They're not. Our defense wasn't making tackles until they were 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. So you talk about 5-yard gains every play. Every play. Take what they give you. That's exactly what they did. They didn't make it complicated. How come we can't do that? That, to me, that's what's so frustrating. And we've talked about that the last 3 friggin' years. How come we make everything just crazy complicated? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It doesn't have to be that way. I can assume that we got smart people on the staff, but they just don't. I don't even know what to call it, man. I don't even know what to call it because it shouldn't be like that, but for some reason it is. Hopefully they can turn it around and get it together, but we said the same thing last year. So just by process of the track record, why should we expect differently? If the head coach is doing the same thing, why should we expect a different result? That's why I said Sirianni's you got to week 7 or to week 8. Because then we'll see. We should be 4-2. We should be 4-2 going into week 8. So we have got to look much better on the defense. We have got to look much better on special teams. How the hell is special teams an issue already? How you going to run into your punt returner twice? You made him fumble. I know people saying that he should have caught the ball when it hit your hand. The hell with all of that. You were not expecting somebody to basically run you over and your own man pushes the guy into you. You ran into your own punt returner twice. Come on, son. I don't know who was that. Eli Ricks the first time? Was that him on both plays? He pushed the guy in the Cooper DeJean the first time, and then the second time he was blocking and just forgot his spatial awareness and ended up running into him again. And it's like, what are you doing? That's coaching. That's coaching. So was that Rodgers the first time? Yes. Isaiah Rodgers. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But then Rodgers made up for it because he blocked the kick. And let me be honest with you. If somebody in that secondary has another game, listen, put Isaiah Rodgers out there. Because I want to see that speed and that height. If you can come off the edge like that and block a kick, your acceleration is elite. So I want to see you covering somebody, and I know he can cover. So I want to see him on the field. We had a situation where I don't know what Fangio was doing. I don't know why Devin White is not on the field. Yes, in place of Slay. If Slay plays like he played last game, absolutely. We ain't got time for this nonsense. This is a results-based business. If you're not getting results, sit your ass on the bench. I don't know why they're not playing Devin White, man. That's what I was about to say, man. I don't understand that situation. Of all games, the team he came from, Tampa Bay, that's a revenge game. That's somebody that's got a chip on their shoulder, and you don't even dress him? I'm hoping eventually the story on Devin White is going to come out, and we're going to figure out what the hell happened. I can only think that he done pissed off the coach somehow, some way. Maybe him and Fangio got into it. I don't know. But you don't bring somebody in that's that high profile, somebody that plays like he did and have a camp like he did and just kick him to the curb like that. Makes no sense. But what's even scarier is he ain't really said shit. Devin White ain't really made no bones about it. He been kind of keeping it professional. I don't know. Because if he is not the best linebacker on the field, if he don't think that's the situation, it's weird, man. It's kind of weird. So I don't know what the situation is with Devin White. I want to see the dude play. We brought him here for a reason. And then all of a sudden it was good until it wasn't. You got to do better than that. So I'm sure that the story's going to come out eventually. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. We shall see. But we got to do something, man. We got to do something. If now's not the time to be in your feelings. So I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to say. It's confusing. Is what it is. It's confusing. Because the dude had a good camp. He had a damn good camp. At no time in camp did it look like Nakobe Dean had usurped Devin White. Zach Bond either. It should have been Devin White and Nakobe Dean. Zach Bond had a good camp, but I thought Nakobe Dean had a better camp. I thought it was Devin White and Nakobe Dean. I thought it was an open and shut case. What happened? Somebody got to tell me something. Somebody got to tell me something, because that don't make no sense. Your job is to put the best team on the field. And if Devin White's not one of the best, all right, maybe we just don't know something. So he was out there the whole time. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I thought he was making plays, man, but that kind of goes into my other argument. Blunt. That goes into my other argument. It's so difficult to tell what type of team you have in camp because the jokers don't hit. They don't do jack. Hour practices, 15-minute practices. Are you serious? In camp, all you want is mental reps? Nah, man, you got to go down and get down to dirty, get your pants dirty, knock somebody in the mouth. You got to get with it. You got to bring that attitude back. That's where it starts, man. That's where it starts. But listen, I'm sitting here watching Detroit put it on Seattle. It's 21-7 right now in the third. Seattle's got the ball. Geno almost threw a pick, dropped by Detroit. It should have been a pick. But the reason why I mentioned the Lions is because I remember the Hard Knocks last year with Dan Campbell in Detroit, and Dan Campbell was like, "You got to trust me, man. You're gonna figure out why we doing it this hard no more. That's how you supposed to do it. That's how you supposed to have camp. You want to put your guardian caps on, fine, but you gonna hit in camp. The hell with this nonsense, man. You got grown men that's getting paid millions of dollars that can't even make a damn tackle. I can just imagine if you miss a tackle like these guys was missing tackles and you came in our locker room, you wouldn't be able to even sit down. Like there was some accountability back in the day. There just was. And you don't have that no more, man. Everybody's skating through. You know, you got your protein shakes and all of the nutrition technology and all this, that, and the other. They got all of this technology, all of this knowledge, and they still went down there and got cramps. And you still got a team that don't know how to damn tackle. Y'all can push that donut across the field all you want to. Not the same. Not the same. Put somebody on their ass. That's how you get better in camp. Tackle. Not this bullshit that they doing, because it ain't working. And they can't argue with it because we got you on tape. Everybody got receipts. I said in camp, it usually takes 3 to 4 weeks for teams to brush off all of that rust and really start playing and tackling. The teams that can get over that hump first usually get a head start on the season. You see what we see. So, like I said, man, Sirianni's got 2 weeks after this bye. We got 2 games against the Browns and the Giants, and we can't blow those, or this city is going to explode. They're going to be walking down to the link with axes and pitchforks. And Chris, that wasn't all the time, but let me just set the example. Normally, their practices would go for like an hour and a half, right? Some days they had like an hour practice. Usually that's a walkthrough. But when I was in camp, we practiced 2 a days, full pads almost every day. When I was down in Camp Coughlin in Jacksonville with Tom Coughlin and that craziness, listen, that was just the old school way of doing it. And you got stuff done, man. You got tired of seeing the same people and you was ready to hit somebody else. That's just the way it was. But you were ready for the season. You were ready for the season, not the crap we see now, man. It's crazy. Uh-oh, who just scored? Seattle just scored. You say you gonna quit if we lose to the Giants. Hey, listen, man. They got a good little running back to replace Saquon. He ain't doing what Saquon doing, though. But, I mean, Saquon has been as advertised. He's the only one. I can't say that. No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say he's the only one that lived up his side of the bargain. But you can't say that because AJ was doing his thing till he got hurt. Devontae was doing his thing till he got hurt. And Dallas was doing his thing until everybody else around him got hurt. So I'm with Seth. I believe it was Seth that said this. Let's see if he's still this bad when AJ and Devontae come back. Now, if we still turning the ball over and he throwing picks and we got AJ and Devontae out there and we can't move the ball and all that kind of stuff, that's a conversation for another day. But, you know, I'm not going to get too much on Jalen. He deserves some of the blame. He's the quarterback. He's going to take it, period. That's the way it goes. He's going to take that. But you going up against Deshaun Watson, I'm expecting you to win that battle. You going up against Daniel Jones, I'm expecting you to win that battle. I'm expecting that. That's a reasonable expectation. Our biggest problem in the division right now is going to be Washington because that rookie is playing ball. Prime example. They figured it out how to put something together so the kid can thrive and learn at the same time. How come everybody else can do it but us? How come everybody else knows how to throw a freaking screen but us? We throw the one screen and it gets knocked down. I watched Baltimore last night. I think DeAndre was that, or the Bears. The Bears had screened to DeAndre Swift like 2 or 3 times. Baltimore screened probably like 3 or 4 times. Everybody's doing it but us. And they're not going over here, turning a 180 and throwing back across the field. They're getting past the line of scrimmage in space, getting him the ball early, and he's just doing what a running back does. Let slow down, get your blocker set up, and then make something happen. They did it last night. Chicago did it the other day. How come everybody else can do it but us? I don't get that. I don't get that. Yeah, Kev. Hey, listen, man. You missed what I said earlier, man. We are not a team that can talk shit no more. I'm not talking shit about the Commanders because I saw how we played against Tampa Bay. I'm not talking shit about Dallas because I saw how we played the other day. And you can talk all the shit you want about Dallas, but Dak Prescott is playing better than Jalen Hurts. I know that. So, what's up, James? So I'm taking each week as it comes. I got to go week to week for the same reason that how we beat New Orleans. And everybody was on New Orleans' job after week 2. So it can happen to anybody, man. 18 missed tackles, bro. Rob, come on, dog. Come on. You're not going to win like that as a defense. That ain't Philadelphia defense. I'm proud of my roots. Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons, William Thomas, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, Eric Allen, Mark McMillan, Herschel Walker, Randall Cunningham, Calvin Williams, Victor Bailey, Vaughn Hebron, Keith Millard, Rich Miano, Mo Johnson, James Joseph, Heath Sherman, Brian Baldinger, Mark Bavaro. I played with some studs, y'all. I will always pull that flex. I didn't play with Barrett Brooks. I'm just talking about the guys that I played with. The guys that I played with. Byron Evans, Clyde Simmons. Come on, dog. We was putting people in the dirt. We was knocking people out of games. We was hitting hard. I'm a rookie running back. Got to run scout team for them jokers. You know I was getting slammed, especially in camp. We got it in. We got it done. So when the game started, when the season started, we were ready to rock and roll. Seth was the captain and Seth wasn't playing. You better come ready to produce. You know what, Rob? I ain't even watch it, dog. I ain't even watch it. And it's bad because it's getting to the point now where everybody's looking forward to his press conferences just to see how bad he sounds. Because it does sound like he rambling because he don't know what else to say. And he be fumbling his words and stuff like that. And it's like, man. And it's getting bad. It's getting bad. And yeah, Bubby Brister, dude. Bubby Brister came in late and had to go because Randall got hurt in week 7? Remember when Eric Allen had that crazy pick 6 against the Jets? And Randall was coming out of the tunnel in crutches? Dude, that's the squad I was on, dog. Those are some real jokers right there that could ball. Some real jokers that could ball. We should have been in the playoffs that year, and Randall hurt his knee. Bubby Brister hadn't been with the team for long enough to. Bubby didn't even know the offense yet. Bubby was drawing it up in the dirt. He hadn't been there long enough. So, one of the things, man. One of the things. And yeah, man, it's to that point where every time he speaks, it's like you just scratching your head and you rolling your eyes. It's like, all right, what are you gonna say today? And it's only a matter of time. He gonna end up saying something stupid, and people gonna just pounce. They just gonna pounce on him, man. And that is not where you want to be. Jared Goff just went down and scored again. 28-14 Lions. It's a good game. They're going back and forth. Oh, they ran the Philly special. They ran a Philly special. Wow. They ran a Philly. Look at that. So yeah, man, it's Sirianni better figure it out. They better get in the lab and put something together. Because Sirianni is shortening his own leash. And we gotta be better than that. You know what? I know he preaches that stuff, but it's like, what else is he gonna say? That he just doing coach speak. He talking in circles. He's saying something, but he ain't saying nothing. How many times have you heard about accountability and all of that kind of stuff? It is what it is. And the problem is because that's becoming white noise. It's white noise. It's just you hear it, but it is what it is. It doesn't mean anything. That's a problem. He's not wrong, but because it's coming from him, you don't care about it. That's a problem. That means all the equity that he built up as the coach is crumbling. And people are losing faith in him. Now, I don't know what the situation is because I said this at the end of last year. I heard a lot of people bringing it up again today. At the end of last year, problems in the locker room with Jalen, and I was like, I don't believe it. Because it was my opinion that Sirianni was keeping a lot of them guys together in spite of. But maybe it's not like that now, or maybe I was just 100% wrong. But all I know is he better be better these next 2 weeks after this bye week, or he will be promoted to fan. And I really don't want to see that happen. I don't ever want to see somebody lose their job in the league because I know how hard it is to get there. And you cannot fire your coach in the middle of the season. Y'all saw what happened last year when they got rid of the side and brought in Matt Patricia. It just screwed everything up. You ride with it to the end, and then you make the decision in the offseason. And don't make the mistake like they made with Sirianni after they fired Doug Peterson. They made that decision too late, and Nick Sirianni was all that was left. So we'll see, man. We will see. So we got to sit here, swallow it, talk about it during the bye week, watch everybody else play, wishing we could do what everybody else is doing. So we'll see what they come up with. They got a whole 2 weeks to come up with a game plan. Let's see what they come up with. And it better not be no bullshit. So I think tomorrow I'm going to have another segment of Run It Back. I think what I'm going to do tomorrow is I might go through and just look at all of the missed tackles. So we'll see. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. We rolled for about an hour 10. That was a good time. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. Listen, we still growing. Please hit that subscribe button. Spread it around. Pass it to your friends. One of the things I'm working on is I want to start doing like call-ins. I didn't do anything tonight, but in the future, what I'm going to start doing is putting the live link in the chat. So if you want to jump on camera and ask a question, it'll be like a live call-in show. I think I'm going to, I did it the other night. Nobody took the bait, but I'm going to do it again, probably either Thursday or Friday, maybe. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so we're going to have live call-ins in the future. So make sure your hair is right. Make sure your hair is did and your microphone is working so you can get on the mic and ask your question in real time. So what's going on, C-Man? So, and don't forget, man, it's still very, very early. We got how many? 13 games left. So we'll see. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Yeah. So keep it together, coach _Marcus06. That's me on Twitter. I'm still using Facebook, but Facebook is getting on my nerves so bad. I'm trying to put more and more content on Threads. But look for me on the social medias, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and I'll let you know about when we coming back on. It'll either be Thursday or Friday, and it'll be a live call-in show, and you'll see the promotion for it on my social media. So stay tuned. I appreciate you guys, James, Cody K, Blunt, Kev, Robert M. Appreciate y'all, man. Keep bringing the heat. Bring your friends. Tell your friends about me and bring a friend next time, man, so we can get this count up. I am at hold on for a second. Let me look real quick. Hold on, don't go nowhere. Let me see what my stats are. I am at 4,400 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 5K. Goal is to get to 5K by the end of the week. So if you haven't hit subscribe, do your due diligence. All right. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. God bless. And I will see you in the next one. I already got a video out. I already recorded it, but I didn't put out like 6 or 7 videos today. I didn't put out like 3 videos and like 4 or 5 shorts today. It's been busy today, man. Pete Rose died, so I did a video about that. I did a video about Hassan Reddick not coming back with the Eagles, but I'm going to put that out tomorrow morning. That'll be up and ready to go tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So check that out tomorrow. Make sure you respond, comment, and we're going to keep this thing moving. I'm going to be out of here, and I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.